Tell me, who is your favorite Dodger, Weston?
Justin Turner, Toy Cedar, Justin Turner,
And you just talked to Max Muncy too, right?
yes, Max Muncy is a different type of baseball player. Is just the main of the Dodger fans. But Justin Turner was Dave Roberts' fans.
That's right.
And then,
Is Dave Roberts a good manager?
yeah, and then he's also the touch of the Dodger fans. Dave Roberts was the main of the Dodger fans.
That's right.
If it's the baseball,
I see you got a baseball and a glove, huh?
yeah, and then it was why it's the baseball field.
Do you play baseball, Weston?
Yes,
What position do you play?
I used to pitch on the pitching mound.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I want you to make sure you have lots of fun today, okay?
Yeah.
And then we'll wait and see when Justin Turner comes over to say hi.
Yeah.
Because he will.
Yes, because it's only Justin Turner.
He'll come over. Oh my gosh, you guys, so cute.
Say thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It was nice to meet you.
You know all the players too, huh, Weston?
You know all of them. Do you have a favorite pitcher? Who's the favorite pitcher?
Tersha.
Oh.
I'm gonna go inside and read your card. Did you write anything special in there? All right. How's it fit? Perfect. Can you run in it?
Let's see you run.
Will it bounce around? Oh, you need to grow your hair longer and then work on that beard. Okay. I know.
Okay, so you gotta cheer loud, okay, for the Dodgers. Okay? Keep the eye on the ball. I need to tell them, you're right. Yeah. Whoa.
Got it. Thank you, Dave Roberts.
Hello, and thanks for joining us today on Playing the Field. I'm Maria Serrao.
And I'm Will Lupardus.
Will, we are here at Dodger Stadium, high atop the park. I love it up here.
I love it. It's only the hottest day of the summer, so
So we're sweating a little bit here.
I enjoy that, though. It's a good old day at the ballpark.
That's right. We've had a big day already. Lots to talk about in the show today, and including baseball. But Will, there's some exciting news today.
Yeah. Now, the Clippers have kind of won free agency this year, and we just got to see the two of the biggest stars in the NBA, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, were introduced as LA Clippers today. Now, Laker fans were disappointed. They got a pretty big free agent.
That's right. Anthony Davis
Yeah.
is a Laker with LeBron, so that kind of evens the field, I think, because they've added some nice pieces, as have the Clippers.
Well, since it's July, we have yet to see if it's really even.
True.
Laker fans probably
But-
think they're a little bit ahead of the game, but Clipper fans
Well,
think they're ahead of the game.
Any
the Cl-
LeBron fan thinks that they're ahead of the game, so, you know.
Yeah, and so, they got Danny Green, the Lakers, that is. They
That's
got
right.
Danny Green, Anthony Davis. But,
Yeah.
but they loaded up their team pretty nicely to compete with these new Clipper energy.
And here's the cool thing about the Clippers now is I said all along, you and I have had this conversation, but Kawhi is a perfect fit for the Clippers. He's quiet. The Clippers are quiet. And Paul George said he was a Clipper fan growing up. So this is very good symmetry, I think.
Yeah, it's fun. I guess the Clippers are kind of the understated team because
They are.
they're in the shadow.
Yes.
But their owner, if we get to see any piece.
Oh, okay, he is completely not understated. He is like the epitome, the opposite of that.
Yeah, he's the old Chris Farley character that falls through the coffee table and screaming at the kids.
He scares scares me a little, Will.
I love him. He's the kind of owner we want, and I think that's why Kawhi and Paul were so excited to come out here.
Yeah, it's funny because they both came out on stage and they were kind of quiet, and then Ballmer came out and just was like, wow, all over the place, and they were laughing. It was funny.
Yeah, he just almost breaks the speakers because his voice is so palpable.
Very true.
But
Very
he's a great energy to have on the team.
No, super good energy. You know, Will, I think it's interesting because there's so many moving pieces in the NBA this year. The footprint is different. It's kind of equaled out.
Yeah, just a few months ago, the Warriors were the odds-on favorite to win, and
Yep, not anymore.
Kevin Durant went down with a horrible injury that's going to keep him out for a year, but still signs with the Brooklyn Nets along with
Yes.
Kyrie Irving. So that's a team that's kind of set for the future.
Yeah.
And
Russell Westbrook?
Russell Westbrook goes to Houston,
Yes.
but after he loses his buddy Paul George to the Clippers
Yeah.
because Kawhi grabbed him from there, and Kawhi left Toronto to come home to the
Kind of
Clippers.
like a soap opera right now.
And of course, Anthony Davis comes to the Lakers to make them competitive again. So
Right.
the Pacific Division, the whole NBA is a real.
It's going to be so much fun next year.
It's
I
a
can't
real
wait.
crapshoot.
Yeah,
and that's exciting.
It definitely is. That's for sure. All right, new Clippers. Let's go check them out.
I'm pumped. Say hello, it's Clippers to Paul and Kawhi. Come on! Come on! Two guys who are MVP guys. Paul was having the most impressive season of the year. I know he had a little injury. Third in the MVP voting. Third. The guy who would be first. Third. Kawhi, MVP of the NBA Finals. Man, that's pretty damn good.
Wow. Lost for words. But that's that day. I'm extremely excited, extremely happy to be back home. First and foremost, I just want to thank the whole Thunder organization.
You know, now we're on the Clippers, and it's just, I think we got something special. We can make history here. And, you know, we got the right team to do it. With Steve, Lawrence, the Doc, the championship head coach. And I'm excited. You know, watching that video that they just presented, I'm ready to go.
Well, yes, NBA is going to be fun this year, Will, no doubt.
Yeah. But let's talk about the Dodgers because they sent
And the
quite
Angels.
And the Angels.
Yeah.
The Dodgers sent a few guys to the All-Star game.
They did.
As the
5
Angels did.
Dodgers, 2 Angels, and next year, all those guys and more are going to be right here in Dodger Stadium. They unveiled the logo yesterday, and it's going to be so exciting.
2020 All-Star game after
All-Star game.
a $100 million renovation project here at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, and you know what? They better hurry up because they've got, a year to get that done.
Yeah, well, we got to get this season done first. So
Yeah, exactly. We're in the middle of this season.
let's not break up the field till they get the playoffs in here.
They're going to have to work like 24/7 because they're actually going to make the stadium go all the way around so you can walk the entire way of the stadium, which is pretty cool.
That is cool. And
gonna be
hopefully
a
we
lot
have
of
just
fun.
as many Dodgers in the game next year, but I know one player that's probably going to make it is Mike Trout from the Angels.
Mike Trout's like the guarantee guy every year because he is the best player on the planet. You know that, right?
Quite a good, I'm
Quite a good
starting to see that. Yeah,
right?
it's quite good.
Well, I had a chance to catch up with Mike Trout, so let's take a look. Does this ever get old, this all-star stuff?
No. I enjoy coming to go to them, and obviously the fans, help that, cause, voting me in, and I appreciate, all the time, and they took to be able to vote for me.
What's the most memorable thing from every All-Star game? Is there something you always think of when you go, or you remember, or is it just different for each game?
It's different for each game. I'm very fortunate. A lot of guys that been in the league for a long time, being their last All-Star game. Derek Jeter. That was probably the most memorable thing for me. Being a role model growing up. Looking up to him, and just every All-Star game it's always a great experience playing with the best across the league, and seeing other guys you're competing against. They're finally on your team, so it's pretty cool.
Now, does your family go with you? How does that work?
Yeah, family goes with me. My wife will fly to Houston. Knowing that I'm in it, fly to Houston, then we'll fly to Cleveland, and my family and her family will meet us out in Cleveland.
Very nice. Now, I know that we're still waiting on your teammate, and you guys have all been pulling for Tommy La Stella.
Oh yeah, he deserves it. If there's anybody in the league that deserves it, it's him. He's put an unbelievable season together. Just his impact he has on this team, this club. We wouldn't be in the situation, in the standings without him. He's 300 hitters, 16 homers. playing good defense. It's fun to watch them on a nightly basis.
Okay, and Mike, what kind of weather are you hoping for at the All-Star game?
Hopefully it's like 75 like it is here, but I doubt it. It's going to be probably humid and hot, but it's good baseball weather.
Good work with the green screen the other day, by the way.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I'm going to bet that Mike Trout will be around next year for that 2020 game as well.
I think so. Probably for a few years.
That's right.
I see him in All-Star games.
That's right. Now, in our Behind the Diamond segment today, interesting story of Scott Akasaki. He is the Dodgers traveling secretary. Now, do you know what that job entails, Will?
I would think almost everything with a computer and a pen and a paper and everything.
And all those guys playing down there?
Yeah.
He's like in charge of all those guys and their families, like always, 24/7.
Yeah, a lot of notes, a lot of calls. That must be hectic.
A lot of phone, a lot of stuff going on.
Now, you said there's only been 4 ever in Dodgers history?
In the history of Dodger Stadium, of Dodgers, Los Angeles Dodgers, Brooklyn Dodgers, only 4 traveling secretaries have ever worked for the team.
And that's good job security.
It's huge job security. I mean, that is really amazing. So we have a story that will tell all about the history, and we're going to meet Scott Akasaki. But right now, let's go to Dodgers historian Mark Langell.
It's got to be the hardest job in the world because a ball game is only 9 innings, and afterwards the players can just go home and relax, or they go to the hotel and relax. But just imagine the traveling secretary, and you're like the babysitter for North America in terms of the hotel, the plane, the mini bar, any type of detail, extra tickets for family members, any type of thing. And it's kind of like a Jenga game because you can have 99 out of 100 items all checked off on your list, and that one item I'm sure would drive you crazy. Has anyone seen the team plane? You know, that type thing. That could get a little awkward at 2 in the morning if somehow the team plane is not there. Same with the hotel and everything like that. It is such a responsibility, and as technology increases, just think in the old days, in the 50s and 60s, you would just use telephones and it was simpler then. Now you can text and it's instant message, so that means instant ask. I want this, I need this, I need that, and just the bombardment and one person suddenly responsible for everything. Well, I think anybody, once you see a traveling secretary that's on top of things, they become the most valuable player of the organization. And Scott Akasaki, it's kind of, I've seen him in 3 acts basically over 20 years. At first, he was kind of like the rookie prospect. He was an intern in the baseball ops department, just trying to be an intern and get a job. And then he was an interpreter for Nomo and Ishii. But then all of a sudden, it's the big time, and he gets the keys to the Cadillac and, just whatever analogy you want as far as the most important job in the organization in terms of just all that responsibility. And I think the greatest compliment I can give to Scott is his focus. I have never seen him lose his focus. I've never seen him lose his cool. And you can just see the weight of the world on his shoulders when he's sitting there. I can still remember spring training in 2008. And we're in Florida, and he has another trip planned. By the way, you're supposed to go to Beijing and leave on a Wednesday and come back to Arizona on a Sunday. And oh, by the way, coordinate all of that. And he's got the room list, the money, and the passports and everything like that. He's just an amazing person in able to just focus.
I think that one of the helpful things is just being meticulous, being detail-oriented, making sure you double check, and obviously, as any person in any job, the more experience you have, the better you become. So now, 17 years in, it's almost like a recipe. I mean, there are challenges here and there, and every road trip is different, but you know what it's kind of going to be like already. So you're able to anticipate the small changes. So as an example, our team this year has been, pretty good. Yeah. And we haven't had as many moves as we've had in a while. I mean, as we've had in the past. So, we were kind of, a couple of guys and I were thinking like, man, when are we going to make another player move? And then boom, yesterday Rich gets hurt. Yeah. And, we have 2 guys being called up today from the pitching side. So, things got busy, and then that's what baseball is. The minute you think that you can relax, you cannot relax.
Right. It seems like obviously a game of adjustments, and for you as well. You seem like a very organized person. What is the biggest challenge of the job?
I think the biggest challenge now is, I have a young family. Yes. I have 4 kids. And so my wife and my wife, God bless her, she's amazing. And she has to, man the fort all the time. So to be present as a dad and also have this job and do it well, I think that's the most challenging part because, when you're done with your day and you go home, you still have to be, a husband and a dad I had to do that for my family.
It's a big job for sure. It's definitely not an easy task, and he does a great job. I've asked a lot of him over the last couple of years, and rookies rely on him a lot because as a rookie you don't want to come up and maybe hassle a veteran guy when you don't necessarily know what's going on. So Scott's kind of the guy you'll text and be like, hey, where am I staying tonight in LA, or what's the protocol on the road, and that kind of stuff. So he's a huge soundboard for young guys and any player in general. Plus the logistics of his job is crazy. At any time, if you were to look at my phone, he'd probably be one of the last 5 or 6 people I've texted or has texted me.
Do you have a favorite part of the job?
I think that every day is different. We don't know, as we sit here today, whether or not we're going to win or lose tonight's game. I think that's the part of it where it's different than maybe other positions that there's always this variable of not knowing what's going to happen. So, and it's all up. It's all a runway or a ramp up to October.
So, Will, could you do that job?
Take
that organized?
take care of the responsibilities of 50 baseball players?
Yeah.
Nope. Sure couldn't.
That was an honest answer.